Welcome to another episode of Bucket List Coach Web Show. Well, hello. This is Cindy Lee, your host over at Bucket List Coach Web Show Live. Welcome, and it is National Aviation History Month all month, and you're going to be in such an amazing surprise for all the guests that we have this week and throughout the rest of the month. So I am the host over at Bucket List Coach Web Show Live. I am a travel agent and podcast host. And so what this show is about is interviewing those who are making the most of the dash. So we have the day that we are born, the day that we pass away. What are you doing in between that time? And Papa Joe actually has made the most of his dash. So we'll get to that in just 1 minute. So a little bit about Bucket List Coach Web Show. I created this so I could interview those who have amazing bucket lists that you need to hear about. And if you'd like to be on the show, please connect with me here on Facebook at Bucket List Coach Web Show. And also, quick promo, if you go to subscribe at Bucket List Coach Web Show on YouTube, and you comment and you share on LinkedIn and Facebook, I'll gift you a 5-night giveaway. Please go to 3nightgiveaway.com for information. And then also, I'm an ambassador with National Day Calendar, and I am their ambassador of the month for National Aviation History Month. So a big thank you to them. And definitely go to National Day Calendar. So, Joe, today is National Housewife Day and Sandwich Day. So appreciate those that you love. So really quickly, Joe is with Cajun's Aviation Dream. He's making pilot scholarship dreams come true. Tell my audience all about your story behind your foundation.
Okay. Well, as we were discussing earlier, Cajun, which Major Stephen Del Bagno, he got into the Air Force, and one of his priorities, one of his dreams was to become a Thunderbird. And during the course of his run, he actually achieved that goal and became a Thunderbird. And in 2018, he was the Thunderbird 4. So he was he used to call it the backbone of the team, because he was in the diamond, the back jet. And within that, he went to one air show. So Melbourne, Florida was his one and only air show. And then he had an accident doing a maneuver that he'd done most of his life or most of his career as an aviator. And when he passed away, we decided that we wanted to do something to keep his legacy alive. So my daughter, Jeanette, was the one that really championed the whole event. And within the Cajun's Aviation Dream, we came up with a way to get young kids out into the aviation world and be a part of their dreams. And so the first time out, what we did was we connected with the EAA, and they had a week-long camp that would be an advanced aviation camp. And we were able to get 2 kids to go to this camp. So we created a sponsorship, if you want to call it that. So we had the ability to get 2 kids to go to the very first camp. And then we had 2 more kids that we got into, but COVID kept them from going 2 years in a row. Now, these are 16 to 18-year-old kids that have the opportunity to go to this advanced aviation camp at Oshkosh Air Show. Part of the experience is actually to attend the air show, and then they get to go through different classes that pertain to aviation. So whether it's having a flight lesson, whether it's the financial side of it, whether it's the maintenance side of it, they have the opportunity to go to several classes. So with COVID last 2 years, we weren't able to send 2 kids, but we did give them their scholarship money so that they could continue their aviation dreams. But we also opened up the door to 2 new platforms within Cajun's Aviation Dream. And those 2 platforms really took us to discovery flights and took us to flights where you can now have an instructor be part of your experience and get an actual instruction class. So the discovery flights, they typically run about between $150 to $300, and we pay for that. We find out where the kids are. So we had a kid from Florida, we had a kid from Huntington Beach, we had so all over the country, and we find an instructor and a flight school that will work with them and give them their discovery flight, and then from there they have that opportunity. So last year we gave away 5 scholarships for discovery flights. We also gave away 1 scholarship for an instruction flight. So you get to fly with Cajun, we call it, and you get an instruction flight. And the instruction flight is usually around $500. So we gave away 1 of those. The actual website, so CajunsAviationDream.org, if you go there, there's the applications that are online so that you can fill out an application, give us a little video of why you think that you have the passion to follow your dream as an aviator. And then we review those with a group of people. And now we are able to give out the scholarships and call and award those scholarships. This is where we have found our focus, if you might, to keep us, my daughter calls it the rabbit hole, keep us out of the rabbit hole that was really lined up with my son's accident. So it gives us a way to give back to the community and give more to the kids and give them their opportunities and follow Stephen's passion.
Well, let's watch the video. Let me pull it up. It's 3 minutes, and then we'll come back here.
Space Coast at Daily TV, and we're live here this evening at Florida Tech Hangar here at Orlando Melbourne International Airport. It is my honor today to interview one of the Thunderbirds. He is Stephen Del Bagno. Stephen, thank you so very much for spending some time with us.
Alan, very nice to meet you. Thanks for having us out here.
Now, you guys, a marvelous job today in the air show. Of course, you got to do it one more day tomorrow. First of all, talk to me a little bit about the Thunderbirds. Tell us what it's all about.
Oh, man. Well, our primary mission on the Thunderbirds is to go out and recruit, retain, and inspire that next generation of airmen. And really, it's to inspire you to be a better version of yourself. So in whatever capacity that is, and hopefully it's in the service of others.
You know, you guys are heroes to so many, myself included, what you do, the way you take the disguise. Talk about what made you want to become a Thunderbird or an Air Force pilot.
Well, to be a pilot in general, I think once aviation, you've tasted it, it's like in your blood and you just long to be up in the air. And then as an airman, I just love being a part of a team. You know, as an individual, we don't really do much. I'm the slot pilot, so I'm number 4. We got the boss out in the front, number 2 on the left wing, number 3 on the right wing. And when I get into position, that makes up the diamond. And then when we get 5 and 6 on board, that makes up the delta. But when we get the 130 members together, that makes up the Thunderbirds. And that represents the 660,000 total force airmen serving around the world and the 20,000 deployed. And really, it just brings it home to America.
Talking to United States Air Force Thunderbird pilot Stephen Del Bagno. And did I just hear you correctly say you don't do much?
Well,
I mean, when I looked up there today, you're the number 4 guy up there today. I mean, I was absolutely amazed. Let's talk a little bit about the planes. Everybody wants to know, the big question is, old or young, how fast do these things go?
So during the air show today, we'll get up to about 0.94 Mach, or about 9.4 miles per minute. So when we're going that speed, it's pretty quick, and we just
Flying.
Yeah.
Now, this is your first show of the year. How many of these air shows do you do a year?
So this year we'll do about 65 shows and about 35 push-it-up locations.
Now, I gotta be honest with you. This was marvelous today. And so, what happens in the future once you're done with the Thunderbirds? What do you want to do?
So I came from the F35 out in Northwest Florida, believe it or not, and I would love to go back to the F35, but continue on in the service and lead airmen and just inspire people to go out there and serve their country.
Final thing for United States Air Force Thunderbird pilot Stephen Del Bagno here. For those watching, young children, boys, girls, what piece of advice would you give them to want to be a pilot?
All right. Well, the biggest advice I give is the 5 P's. So find your passion, find your purpose, be persistent in your pursuit, be personable, so humble, credible, approachable, and then it'll pay off.
I mean, can you end any better than that? For United States Air Force Thunderbird pilot Stephen Del Bagno, I'm Alan Slaughterzinski with Space Coast Daily TV. NBC.
Amazing. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, and as I told you before, I grew up near Travis Air Force Base, so this is kind of full circle for me. I've always loved the airplanes, and so amazing to create or live on his legacy. That is just wow. So tell us about the pilot program a little bit more.
Again, what you look at is your discovery flights. So somebody who's interested in learning more about aviation, they go to the website, and actually the applications should start opening up about December, I think it is. But you go to the website and you find the application spot and you fill out your application, and discovery flights will take you up and give you an opportunity to fly with an instructor and see if it's something that you really like. And then if you want, then you can start building from there. If you've already got to a point where you've decided you want to do more and you're into instruction, then you fill out the one for the scholarships for the instruction, fly with Cajun. And now that'll give you the opportunity to get an instruction flight that we pay for as a scholarship. And then if you are interested and you're of the ages, now those ages for those two opportunities are between 14 and 18. And then if you're already in an advanced situation, the opportunity for the EAA Oshkosh Advanced Aviation Camp is there. And now those are 16 and 18-year-olds. So 16, 17, and 18-year-olds. So you have to be age specific at the time of the actual camp. So if you're 15 and a half and you're going to be 16 in, I think it's August, then you can apply and you can go because you'll be 16 at the time of the actual camp. And that camp is usually the scholarship award is $1,600, and then we offer $500 for the airfare if you need to have airfare. So there's a way to get the airfare paid for as well. And that camp, again, it is a week-long camp where you are actually in a for lack of the right words, a hotel type environment, and it's on the Oshkosh facility, and you'll have the different classes that you can attend. And then you also have a night or day that you can go to the actual air show. And we like to tell everybody, go to the night show because the night show is really, really amazing.
So I want to do a shout out to Hendrix McKinnon. He's actually one of my surf instructors, with Rocky McKinnon. And I actually seen his story on Instagram, or his post on Instagram. So I'm like, wow, what is this aviation dream, Cajun aviation dream? So I'm
Hendrix is actually one of our scholarship awards. He did get an award for the discovery flight. And then from his award, he followed a trail that Stephen kind of followed when he was younger. And in that, he's now working at the airport as a line boy and getting paid. And I don't know if they offered him any other opportunities, but that's how he's now being able to get additional time in the air. So yeah, he was one of our scholarship winners.
That's amazing. So kind of tell us how it works. So where is it located where the kids would take their class?
Again, the different flights would be available to them in an airport close to them. So there's a little research that has to be done. So once they apply for the scholarship, and they get awarded the scholarship, we learn where they're located, so where they physically live, and a community airport that's somewhere close by. And if they have the ability to get there, we will get with that particular flight school and make sure that we make the arrangements so that it's easy for them. In the case of Hendricks, he lives in Huntington Beach, but he came all the way up to Van Nuys Airport, and there's a flight school there that we made arrangements with, and we know the pilot that flew out of there. And there was actually a couple of kids from Saugus area that were also scholarship winners that flew out of Van Nuys Airport. So it depends on where you are. The one that was in Florida, we researched where the best airport was for them and the flight school, and made that arrangement as well. So we will help get that research done and make sure that it's convenient to them.
Well, awesome. Well, let's talk about the F-14, because I actually have a F-14 pilot coming on, a F-14 mechanic, a Rio. So tell my audience about your son's passion for the F-14.
Well, as a youngster, again, like most kids, Top Gun came out and he was infatuated with Top Gun, and everything was all about the F-14s.
Yeah.
His younger days of his flight experience were out of CP Aviation, and within that, it's flight line to Point Magoo. So the F-14s would fly, and it wasn't that they couldn't come down too low, but they would come down low enough, tilt their wings, and all of a sudden they'd get on the radio and he'd go crazy. And so we teased a lot of the guys with the Air Force that if the F-14s were still in service, Stephen probably would have been a Navy guy and probably fly the F-14s. So as it was, I got his nod for the Air Force. He was F-16s. He went to Korea. He went to Japan, got to be a flight instructor in Japan, and then came back to Florida for the F-35s and became a flight instructor for the F-35s, and then got his nod to become a Thunderbird, and so goes his story.
So what's the process to become a U.S. Thunderbird?
To becoming a Thunderbird, there's a lot of different things that go into it. One is your experience. So based on the fact that he was flying F-16s for most of his career in the Air Force and became an instructor pilot, that gave him so many hours. I think the minimum hours is like 1,200 hours in a combat aircraft. So he had a number of hours within that. Then he went over to Florida, started flying the F-35, got a number of hours in the F-35, and that got him to where he was. It's kind of interesting to know that he actually flew over 31 different aircraft during his flying career, because he started out young and he started flying. He did banner towing, he did skywriting, so all the different things that lined him up for becoming a Thunderbird. And he talked about his 5 Ps, and one of them was being personable. And within the Thunderbirds, they look for the people to be the best versions of themselves. Exactly. They look for them to be humble, credible, and approachable. All those things were right in line with what his personality was. And he loved to share his time with kids. It was funny that when we were hooking up with a number of his buddies on the team, they would make comments. That's all he wanted to do was hang out at the line and talk to all the kids. And we wanted to get back inside and get back to normal. And he would just hang out and wait for the last kid to be there. Or if it was an older person, he would talk to them and share stories. He always shared stories with older veterans, and he'd just sit there going, okay, you're there, we'll wait for you. And that was part of his passion. He loved to share and be a part of people.
So for someone like me in her mid-50s who didn't follow her dream to get into the Air Force and ended up being a chef for 25 years and then a travel agent and now a podcaster. So what do you suggest for someone my age to still follow the dream? I mean, not be a pilot with the Thunderbirds, because I'm a little older for that. but to follow the dream, to learn. I learned to surf. That was a big fear of mine. And my next one is car race and airplane. So tell me all about how I could accomplish that goal.
So within the airplane life, if you might, there are several different community airports. You can go there. They have flight schools. They also have different people that'll give discovery flights. So there's a way to get a discovery flight. And then from there, you can find out what it's going to be for you to get your private license. And I think the last I checked, it's like $3,000, $3,500 to get a private license. And so it's just a matter of, okay, how committed are you, and setting that time aside and just getting in line with, there's a ground school. So you have to go through your ground school as much as there's the actual time in the air, and fulfilling that dream. You might not be able to be a fighter pilot,
No.
but you can get up in the air and fly different aircraft. And as you progress, there's just different platforms that you have to make sure that you are approved to be a part of. So again, you got your Cessna 150, you get checked out in that, you get your Cessna 172, you get checked out in that. And then the different aircraft you just have to get checked out in, so that they know that you can handle that aircraft. And the sky's your limit. You can poke holes in the sky. If you want to do something where you want to get your, what do they call it? Stephen was really fun because he took us up a couple times for flights, and your aerobatics are actually safety maneuvers, and you go through an instruction to learn how to do that. So once he got his ability to do the aerobatics, aerobatics is a whole different world and just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel those G's.
Right? It was funny because the first time he took us up, he took my wife up, and she came back after an hour flight, and she was just ear to ear grin. And I go, okay, something's up. And we go out to the airplane, and it was a super decathlon. And he reached in the back of the super decathlon. He pulled out a parachute, and he says, "Dad, you have to wear this." I go, "Why do I wear that? Where am I sitting?" "Well, you're going to be back there." I go, "When you get your big old body out of that airplane, I'm already in the ground. So why do I got to wear it?" "Dad, it's insurance, it's safety, it's everything. You just need to wear it." So I put it on, and we went up, and we did an hour of just aerobatics, which was just really fun.
Oh, wow. So what plane was that you did that?
The super decathlon, it's a front and back seat, and it's rated for and built for the aerobatics. So the stress factors that go into doing loops and all that is factored into different aircraft. So that aircraft was rated for the aerobatics.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to put you in the green room. I'm just so grateful for you making the time today. It's just ironic, like how we've actually connected through the universe. If I didn't see that picture from Hendrix, I wouldn't never even heard of your company. And I'm just so excited to move forward and have you on the show, maybe every couple months.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, that would be really amazing. Anything else you want to tell my audience before I pop you back in the green room?
Just feel free to go visit CajunsAviationDream.org and learn about Stephen and learn about what we're doing. And we look forward to seeing kids from all ages.
Thank you. I'm going to pop you in the green room and hang tight while I close out the show, and we'll chat for a few minutes.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you.
Aviation Dreams, guys. Make sure that you go to Cajun. It's Cajuns with an S, Aviation Dream, and definitely follow them on Facebook and Instagram. And I would love to gift you a 5-night hotel stay if you share this broadcast on Facebook, through YouTube, and also on LinkedIn. You'll qualify for that amazing hotel stay. So next I have Kelly. She's with Marketing Boost, and we're going to talk all about this amazing platform where you could gift hotels and dining cards. This is Cindy over at Bucket List Coach Web Show Live. Shaka, baby.